Welcome to the TOCA Backstage podcast. Join TOCA's Executive Director, Chris Wolf, in conversations with the artists and people behind the scenes of the Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation's performances and events.
Hi, this is Chris Wolf, the Executive Director of the Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation. Welcome back to TOCA Backstage. Today's a little different. Usually we bring you artists and people behind the scenes of shows that we do. Today we're going to take you way behind the scenes to introduce you to some of the key people who are leading the Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation in a new and positive direction. I'm going to introduce you to the 26-27 Executive Committee, which consists of Camilla Seferian, who's serving her second term as president, Heidi Cunningham, who's serving her second term as vice president, Winnie Seieroe, who is our board treasurer, and Sara Baillie, who's our board secretary. These people are really helping to lead the charge of keeping the arts alive in Torrance and the South Bay. A great group of people. Obviously, they're not alone. We have other board members who are critical in keeping things moving. Also, a wonderful staff who work endlessly to make sure that the shows go well. But I wanted to introduce you to the key people who are the executive committee. So let's go back and, by the way, I wasn't able to get them all in one room at one time just because they're all so very busy. So I've had 4 different conversations, and I think they're kind of fun and introduce you to some great people. So take a listen.
Hi, I'm Camilla Seferian, and I'm the board president for TOCA and the Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation.
Okay, Camilla, so you're going to be board president this year. You were board president last year. Can you tell me something that, like, why you decided to get into the Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation?
Well, I enjoy the arts, and of course, Jean Adelsman is very persuasive. So she's been on the board for a long time and came and spoke to me about the organization and got me involved in it. And
what do you see as the biggest accomplishments over the last couple of years that TOCA has done?
I don't know. I think this last year we've kind of had a better program than we've had for the last few years before that. We're bringing back some of our old things like Dancing with the South Bay Stars next year. We're trying to expand on our TOCA-palooza, our festival.
What's one of the things that TOCA is having the hardest time with?
Fundraising. I mean, that's, yeah. Fundraising is very difficult. You know, we have a set core of people that donate to the foundation, but we'd like to get more people involved in the arts and coming to our shows. And that would be, you know, wonderful to have a little bit larger audience and group of people supporting the theater.
And what do you see when you talk to people about the Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation? What's your big selling point?
That we have something for everybody. We kind of cater to families, to, you know, people that just, you know, we have our cabaret series, which has a special core group of people that come to that, where they have the dinner in the theater kind of setting. And we have family shows, and then we have other specific musical shows, and that for different age groups. And
well, you have volunteered quite a bit. You're behind the concession stand for a lot of those shows. You're the big prize. You gather the prizes for Magic Bingo, and a number of other things. What do you see from all the programs that we do? What programs do you think gets people most excited?
I think it's different for everybody, but I know a lot of people enjoy the Magic Bingo. Those are very popular nights, and they like the interactive things. They like when we have magic going on, or we have, you know, something like that that's different than just sitting and listening to music or, you know, watching a show. So I think they like more of the interactive kind of shows that we put on.
You say you're interested in the arts. Do you have like a history of art? Do you study art? What kind of arts are you involved? Do you appreciate?
I just have always my mom started me early going to theater, and that was just one thing that we always did. We went to did a lot of going to theaters and seeing shows, and so it's just always been something that I've enjoyed. But I don't really have like a background in theater.
Is there one? I mean, if somebody came to you and said, "What, I'm new to town. What show should I come see?" What would you recommend?
Mhm. It just depends on their interest and what their genre of theater is that they like.
If if somebody was to come to you and say, "I want to help TOCA," besides fundraising, how would you suggest that they help out?
Just getting involved with the foundation. We can always use a few more board members, helping putting on our events, kind of working behind the scenes and um, putting shows together and getting our festival going. Um, that's where we could use some help, and we'd love to get some new people on our board.
And when it comes right down to it, I know every president that we've had, at least during my tenure, um, they all walk away saying, "Well, at least I did this. This is my big, my big thing that I was able to accomplish." When all is said and done, because you'll term out as president after this season, what would you like people to remember your presidency by?
I don't know. I'm trying to bring back some of the things that we used to do, like the Dancing with the South Bay Stars. It used to be very popular. So we're going to try that again this year and see how that goes. Trying new and different things in our theater.
Have you ever thought about doing Dancing with the South Bay Stars?
Um, yes, but I just haven't done it.
How come?
Hi, I'm Heidi Cunningham. I'm the Vice President of TOCA, and I'm excited to be here. I'm originally from Michigan and Europe, being Belgium, England, and Spain. I was born in Antwerp, Belgium, because of my father's job in the automotive industry, and moved back and forth between Michigan and Belgium, England, and Spain, where I spent most of my formative years from grade 3 to 10 there, and then came back. And after that, I just decided it was time to go to California and moved in 1984 to California to the South Bay area and never left. I met my husband here and I am still here. My background is 10 years in garment manufacturing, and I've got 20 plus years in the staffing industry. Although right now I'm not doing any of that. I am actually a private event coordinator for a local brewery called Smog City Brewery, and also for a fashion stylist for Cabby Clothing. How did I get into TOCA? I had one of the board members a million years ago reach out to me to say, "Hey, would you like to be on the board?" And I said, yes, I would love to, having come from, a world where, Europe is all about the theater and all about performances and concerts and anything related to the arts. I was happy to be able to be a part of something, because that's been something I've missed since I've come back to the States, because it doesn't matter how big or small the city is, it doesn't feel like it's something that's in our culture here in the United States. So I was excited to be part of it. And I've been excited to be part of the group and the organization ever since.
Do you have any experience in the performing arts? I mean, like on stage, do you ever perform?
Yes and no. I did, like in small school plays, but I was, when I was in my middle school and high school through 10th grade, I did dance, modern dance, and a little bit of ballet, but that was, I don't really want to talk about that because I wasn't very good. But I did do that. And I did try out in 8th grade for the King and I as a dancer, but was not chosen, but I made it pretty far. I've done cheerleading. when I was in high school in the ninth and 10th grade. But once I got back to the States, I think it was all culture shock. It still kind of feels like I'm in culture shock now coming back. But no, that was pretty much it. I do have a father who was a big loved instruments and was very musical with playing the trumpet. And my mother had records. So I grew up with all of her show tunes and anything that she really liked. She was big into dancing at home. So that's pretty much it.
Well, and don't forget, you also had a stint on the Armstrong stage.
Thank you for reminding me, Chris. Yes, I did salsa dance with a professional and took fourth. Although if my mother was here, she would tell you I should have had taken third, but that's a whole other story.
You've been involved with TOCA for a while. Is there a favorite thing that TOCA produces or does that you enjoy the most?
I love all the shows, but I think the one thing that really is exciting for me is the cabaret series. And what I love about it is I've got the season tickets because I thought it would be fun to have date night for the husband, not knowing if he would go for it or not, because I met him here, but he's from Chicago and it's just not something that he was used to. And I'm actually glad I did that because every single season he asked me if we have tickets. And if we're going to do it. And I always tell him yes, and he's very excited. And so that's one of my favorite things is it's great artists. We buy it with the dinner. So you have the dinner and it's fun dinner theater. There's so many other things, but that's one of the things I love the most.
How have the arts impacted you personally?
I would say for me, how it's impacted me is it's a community. You know, when I go to a show, I get to see not only people I know and my friends, but I also get to see new faces that are coming here either for the first time or they've been coming every now and then, but started to come more often and they bring their children. Whether it's little children, adult children who then bring their children. And I really like to see that camaraderie and the community and how everyone comes together at a show, before the show, during the show, after the show. I also just really like to see that we're doing what we can to keep the arts alive in all forms. And we really are doing our absolute best to make sure that Torrance and the South Bay have a wonderful venue that has a lot of great acts that we can share with the community.
So TOCA has been in the community for 30 plus years. How do you see its impact on the community? Do you think TOCA has had an impact on the community?
I do. I think I do believe it has. And where I see it from every place. I see it from the folks that are much older than myself that come either on their own or they come with family, friends. And I've heard from a lot of them that this is the thing they look forward to because it gives them something not only to do, but something to kind of live vicariously through. I also see when it comes to bringing little kids into our shows for children, that becomes another audience. And I think that our impact is coming from all ages, from the little kids, from kids like babies, toddlers, whatever, pick your age, on up to people who are, older, who are seniors.
So TOCA, Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation, is a nonprofit organization. And obviously we survive on donations, sponsorship, ticket sales. What's the one thing you would suggest to people or why they should support TOCA?
Yeah, if we don't have the support of the community, donations, give where you can. If it's time, if it's money, buying tickets, just showing up. I think it's important because it's with things being how the world is today, this becomes the one place, it's like a safe haven. You can see something that's really beautiful. You can hear something that's amazing. And I think it can take you someplace that you had no clue. You see a play, you see a musician, you hear a musician, you see something community related like South Bay's Got Talent. Maybe it's this, Dancing with the South Bay Stars or a murder mystery theater that we've done before. So something that you would never have thought to go to, and it's community related.
Awesome. So if somebody didn't have the means to make a donation, are there other ways they can support TOCA?
They can. They can be a volunteer. They can, you don't have to give money now, but maybe you're thinking of planning your estate and you might want to include us in your estate. You might want to just bring another way to help is bring people that you know that might not know about us. We just get the word out to people, to let them know. Bring your family, bring your kids, call the office to see what else can I do to help. We have a festival that we do every year or some other kind of event that we plan, and maybe see if there's something you can do or connect people that might be able to help us.
Just in one sentence, what does TOCA mean to you?
What comes to mind is it brings me happiness and community.
Just closing up, what's one surprising fact about you that people would be surprised to learn?
Or fun fact would be I went my first concert was ABBA at Wembley Stadium in 1979.
That's a big fact.
Yeah.
ABBA, Wembley Stadium, that must have been amazing.
It was actually very cool. I had a test the next day, and my parents decided it was more important to go to the concert than to take the test. So my mother would quiz me in the slow songs. I didn't do very well, but they weren't worried. My second concert was Iron Maiden, and that was in Spain.
So that's like polar opposites.
Exactly.
Iron Maiden versus ABBA. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time, Heidi. I certainly do appreciate it.
Oh, I thank you for thinking of me, and I appreciate you too. This has been fun.
All right, take care.
Hi, my name is Winnie Seieroe, and I am the treasurer of Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation.
So, Winnie, tell us about yourself, a little bit about yourself, and why you decided to join the Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation board.
I have lived in Torrance for over 10 years now, and I have always wanted to do something with the community. I love arts and museums and going to see shows, and on an off chance I saw a note, I think from one of the Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation newsletter, that said you were looking for volunteers. So I thought I would give that a shot. And I met some great people there while volunteering for the concession stand, saw some great shows, and just eventually joined.
Tell me, I know you have experience in art because I've seen some of your paintings, and in an offhanded comment you made to mention that you were once doing photography. So I know you have a passion for art, but have you ever done any performing arts?
Not really. The closest is probably, I used to play piano, and I took piano lessons since I was 4 years old up through high school. And so I did a lot of piano recitals growing up. But performing in front of people was never really my thing. I love art and I love dabbling in arts, but I am definitely one of those people who are jack of all trades, master of none. I'm not very good at anything, but I have tried a lot of things.
And would you say that the arts have impacted your life personally?
Definitely. Piano taught me discipline and really taught me to stick to something and learn the ins and outs of music, playing piano, how to perform in front of people. And then just going to art museums, seeing arts, watching performances really helped me better understand other people's perspectives in an entertaining way and learning about other people's lives and just, enjoy a show, but also at the same time learn something new and meet some new people. and just even exploring the genres that I'm into, learning that, oh, I actually really like something new, and just being able to try out different things.
From your perspective, do you think that an organization like the Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation has a positive impact on the community, or does it have an impact on the community?
I think especially for a community like Torrance, where we are in Los Angeles, but Los Angeles is huge. And going to a show within Torrance is such a treat in terms of commute time. It is just right in my backyard. And I don't have to get on the freeway, drive on the 405 and the 110 and this and that in order to go experience something that is joyful and entertaining and memorable. And having the high quality shows that we showcase every year, it's something that I think you can't find very easily in other cities. And it's something that's very unique to Torrance, and it serves Torrance in a way that, and I think art in general serves a community in a way that a lot of other things can't do.
If going back to your passion for the arts, if you could master one art form just in a blink of an eye, what would you pick?
I would love to be able to dance. I have two left feet and I can't dance at all. And I love watching other people dance. And that would be so amazing if I could just suddenly be very flexible and very coordinated and be able to pick up dance moves. That would be incredible.
If somebody was on the fence about coming to a show or getting involved in the foundation, what would you tell them?
I think they should just give it a try. We have so many shows that are tailored to really anybody. You can come to a show like a magic show with your kids, or you can go to a band tribute show where you might know all the lyrics to all the songs, or you can come to a show that you know nothing about and just be able to learn something new. I think our price points are really reasonable, especially if you compare to an Amundsen or Pantages Theater. Our show tickets are very reasonable, and it's not a big investment in terms of time or money for you to come see a show. And the best way to learn about TOCA is really just pick something and come check it out, bring a friend. And if nothing else, it will be a memorable experience, and you can be assured that it's a high quality show, and there will be special shows.
Well, thank you very much, Winnie. I do appreciate your time.
Thank you for your time.
Hi, I'm Sara Baillie, and I am the secretary for the Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation. So I am currently a communications professional for the major school district in Torrance. But previously to that, I actually got my degree in theater and communications at Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh. And I've always loved acting in theater. I was a drama person in high school, and I did a lot with theater in college, and then I continued on in community theaters after that. So I've just been a huge fan of all of the arts, but especially drama and theater.
So there goes my next question. My next question is, did you have any experience? But you focused on acting particularly?
Yeah, so my passion was acting. In high school, I was in play production. So in addition to stage productions, I also competed in competitions, mostly for like dramatic monologues, and I've taken a lot of acting classes and things. So I particularly love the idea of being on stage, and how live theater and live productions are so much further than just like screens or reading. It really comes alive. And so I like that even better than movies and TV.
I'm a firm believer, and I know it's a cliche, but I do believe that the theater and performing arts can really almost I can say that it saves lives because when I was teaching drama and working with kids in underprivileged areas, um, before I left the last place I worked at, a kid came up to me and goes, Chris, if it wasn't for this, I don't know where I would be now because I would be off with other guys doing other things that would just not be okay. And he goes, I don't know if I'd be around today.
Yeah, I feel like the thing that I'm most passionate about, especially when we talk about mental health, I loved the idea. I think a lot of Generation X and others, it wasn't as okay to talk about really deep emotions, and that's so needed for mental health. And so the idea that you could go in a theater and have empathy for someone else and see them bearing their vulnerable emotions, and it's okay, and you can kind of like cry in the dark and connect with them, that kind of human connection is so powerful. And I do believe that for mental health and for saving lives, it's absolutely essential.
How do you think the Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation has impacted, or does it impact, the community? And if so, how?
I think it's wonderful that right here, I wish more people recognized what a valuable gift it is, but to have all kinds of, whether it be musical performances, comedy, sketches, rock bands, the talent contest we do, but to have all of that right here in our backyard, especially when you look at the generation. So for a lot of students, they're students of all different economic backgrounds, and I've heard so many stories where, like, even though the beach is so close, they don't have the ability to get to it, and so not all of them are going to go to downtown LA or Long Beach. So to have right in your backyard, so close at our civic center, these really amazing performances is incredible. And then when you also look at the demographics of Torrance, so many of our residents are older, right? And loneliness can be an issue. Just being able to get out and about can be an issue. And all of these performances are offered and accessible right here in the center of Torrance. And so I think that's a gift. And I think it's really impactful just to bring arts and all kinds of different arts and performances to our community.
Well, and it's interesting. I mean, I have seen you. You volunteered actually on the board. You volunteered at concessions. I've seen you and your wife at a number of different shows. What is there one thing that TOCA does that you like the most?
It's hard to choose, honestly. We've had so much fun. There hasn't been a show that I haven't been completely impressed with, and a little bit humbled and maybe even ashamed that I didn't know it was right here in our backyard. That I haven't. I'm shocked that I haven't been a member my whole adult life, and I think that just goes to show that we want to tell more people, and especially young people. But the ones I love the most, I mean, we're avid world travelers, and so to see the drummers that came, I'm blanking on the name of the drums. It's
Taiko?
that yeah, the taiko drums. And that was a group from, I believe, Scotland that came and performed. So having that was incredible. The one woman show, there were two one woman shows. One was about it had to do with students or youth that have special needs, and she was a mother who of a special needs child. That was incredible and powerful. And speaking of, like, just finding humor in the harshness of everyday life and the challenges that she went through. And then there was another piece that was really more about the political. Like, we got to look at the Constitution. It was what the Constitution means to me, and looking at, especially right now in today's age, the importance of that document and what it means to different people. So, and then fun things like the 80s night and bingo. I mean, we've enjoyed everything we've gone to, really.
If somebody was on the fence about either getting involved, volunteering, or even just coming to a show, what would you tell them?
It's really easy, so to speak, and fun. So the TOCA board is some of the friendliest people that I've ever gotten to meet. Sometimes boards can be, where you have to know someone, or they're like, the word is like clicky, and this board is not that. This board is really welcoming. It was easy to pick up. It's just it's just a lot of fun and good people. So you could start with something as easy as just helping people with the snacks and the concession, which was really easy. You can help with, I think there's some roles to do with just helping to get the performers ready and then some of the events that we have. But it's a great way. I'm thinking too for youth who need hours for college, especially those mature youth. One of the things that in high school I was assigned to go and see a play, and then in college as well, that can be some of the most fun ways to volunteer and to get hours in to show that you're involved in the community and you get to enjoy a show while you're volunteering. So that can be really powerful for youth who haven't seen live performances.
Do you have a hope for the future of the Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation?
Yeah, I mean, to be realistic, I know that we're limited by our the number of seats. And so I know there's been talk about what's going to happen to the future of the Civic Center and things like that. So I know realistically we may not be able to compete with the number of seats to places like Long Beach, but when you look at what we're able to bring in, I think it's still incredibly impressive. I'd love to see more opportunities to bring, like, where you have paying members who pay for this really world-class entertainment, and then that allows us to do more outreach for students and for others so that there's more partnership opportunities, or like, adopt a class or field trips, things like that. Not all of the things we do would be naturally like for students, but I think there's a nice mix. And then I'd love to see our audience grow younger as well, to just make sure that the new generation, I would love to see that this is the cool place to go and catch a play. For me, on one of them, it was the one about the mom. I called up maybe 4 moms and we had a girls' night out. And, you can grab a wine or a beer, you can meet the girls. And so I just would love to see this be the cool place for more people to come and do a meetup or meet people.
So tell me, is there anything like that can you reveal that somebody might find surprising about you, like a secret about Sarah?
So I am a huge, huge Disney fan. In fact, I have a bunch in my office. I'm a huge Merida Princess fan, and I'm a Disney Key Pass holder. And I think in another lifetime, I would have loved to been a performer at Disney for kids. I love kids, and I hope that I have maybe a children's book in me at some point. So I love writing, performing. I think those communicators, it all comes together. But yeah, I would love to have to perform in a Disney parade. That's kind of my another one of my passion is kids in theater and being able to. One of the theses that I did in college was about using theater as a form of education. It's called Theater and Education, and the idea was that you can teach about the cleanliness of water, or the very serious things around domestic violence. You can teach all of this through role playing and theater, and so I think it has the power, as we were talking about earlier, to really change the world. Also, they now have therapy that is done through theater and role playing. It can be really healing, and so you can find what's called a drama therapist, and they're actually certified. And it's a really impressive career that not a lot of people know about. So that's something that I've always been fascinated by as well. So I guess, yeah, I think all of us, right? All of us who love the arts are multifaceted, and that's what makes, I think, the TOCA board a really cool place to be.
It's funny you mentioned about education, because I always flash back when people talk about how the arts are important. When I was a kid, I attended some church group just because my friends were going, and there was like this talk about something in the Bible, and at that point I had never read the Bible, but I had all the answers because I saw Jesus Christ Superstar.
Right?
And they were like, "How do you know that, Chris?" I'm like,
Yep. And like with Hamilton teaches history, and
"Yep."
there was, a couple of them have tackled mental health. I mean, yeah, there's just so much. There's so much, and it sticks with you. I think songs and, it's like people quote movies, but quoting plays too. They just, starting with Shakespeare and on, they just always captured life in a way that makes it really accessible, but also makes us think about it long after the curtains have come down. So yeah, I love
Very well
theater.
said. Well, thank you so much, Sarah. I too do appreciate it, and I think that's all I have.
Sounds good. Well, thank you. It's my pleasure to serve, and I hope our listeners, if they aren't already members, run out and become members, because I think you'll be really pleased with next year and the year after, all of the years after, the lineup.
So there you have it, our TOCA Executive Committee for 26-27 season. Great group of people. So all you got to do now is come check out our shows. Go to our website, www.torrancearts.org, and maybe you'll find a show that you enjoy. I highly recommend this Studio Cabaret. We have some great, wonderful shows in the Armstrong as well. So check it out, and we hopefully will see you there.